Welcome back to Self-Built. Today I'm going to share with you a couple different bicep exercise variations that I don't really see anybody ever do, and I'm guessing they're just not that well known. So I'm going to share them with you today. Essentially the type of curls that they are drag curls. And from what I've seen, people only do like one or two different variations of them. And it's in the least beneficial range. And I'll show you what I mean a little bit later. I've got at least 3 in mind I'm going to show you off the top of my head, and if I'm feeling like it, I might show you even some more. So let's jump into this. When you're doing a traditional curl, typically you keep your elbows tucked to your side, and your hands are what's doing most of the moving. A drag curl is basically the opposite, to where your hands are just moving up and down and it's your elbows that are moving out. And what that does is it just puts a different stress on the bicep. So a lot of people will get a barbell, something like this, and they'll just curl it. And while this is an effective exercise, I don't really feel that constant tension all the way through as much as you could. I feel it mostly towards like the top half, not so much the bottom. So I'll show you some cool alternatives that you can do. This first one's gonna look like you're doing a pull-up, except you're using all the wrong technique. Instead of doing a drag curl where you're starting from your bottom, I like to have my elbows at least to the mid or up where I'm doing the drag. I feel like it engages the top and the bottom so much more. I get a huge contraction when I get towards the top. One of the great exercises I like to do are pull-ups. I like to do underhanded or similar hand grip. And you're doing pull-ups focusing on your biceps. I cannot curl my own body weight. If I could, that'd be awesome. But what we focus on when we're doing these is focusing on the negative. When you're doing the negative portion of any movement, you are much stronger. And when I'm doing it with pull-ups, it's the same thing. So if you're not strong enough, you can jump up and do it. But if you've got the strength and energy in the beginning, you can just pull yourself up. And then you just want to focus on your biceps. And if you spin, that helps a little bit too. But just control it all the way down. And then just curl your way up. And then let it come down. And then when you get to the point that you're not able to do it under your own power, just give yourself a little bit of a boost. And then just squeeze, let yourself slowly fall. Just focus on your biceps the whole time. Mine are on fire right now. Get a good stretch and then come back up. I like to do these ones towards the beginning where I've got more strength than towards the end, but you can do it whenever you want. And if doing your body weight is too much weight, you can put a band on here, or I'm going to show you an alternative with our next exercise. Another thing you can do is basically self-spot yourself. If you've got the ability to lower your pull-up bar, that way you can just basically be in a standing position where you're at the top of your range of motion, and then you can just squeeze as hard as you can and just control it with your legs. But you just want to make sure that you're using your biceps as much as possible. Oof. Yeah, that'll kill you. This next one's gonna look really similar to the first one we did, but this one is much more controlled and you can pick the exact weight that you want. So it makes it a lot easier in that sense. And you can also control the angle of where you want your elbows and shoulders to be just by depending on how far you want to lean forward. But all you gotta do, you can just pick whatever width that you want. And then you just want to pretend you're gonna row it, but do all the wrong things and curl and don't use your lats. Just curl it down. Just focus on your biceps the whole time. And just right here, I just get a crazy cramp and squeeze in my biceps. Yeah, those feel really nice. An easy way to explain what I'm talking about when you have your arm up higher is just keep your arm to your side and just flex. And notice how good it feels. Feels nice and everything. But keep it flexed, and as you go up, you're gonna start feeling this top portion really activate a lot more. And that is what this is gonna be doing. Feels another awesome. Nice thing you might notice when you're doing drag curls is it just puts a different load on the joint. So if you have any sort of like nagging pains or elbow things, this might be the thing you're looking for, where it puts the stress on the muscle, but it just feels a lot more different on that joint. You don't have to do 2 arms at a time. You can of course do 1 arm at a time, which leads us into the next one. This one is just a low cable drag curl. And with this one, I like to keep my arms stretched out. This was actually the first exercise where I was like, wait a minute, this style feels really good. And then it made me try a whole bunch of other variations. When I was doing a back day, I was doing some low cable rows, and I just got the idea of like, let's just curl this, and it felt awesome. So ever since then, I've kind of fell in love, and I kind of use this exercise as a finisher, but you can definitely use it as anything else. And what I like to do is just get a good stretch, so I'll just kind of scoot back. So right now I've got the weight in the air, and then instead of doing the curl like this, I'm just gonna curl it back, and I'm just using all bicep. And this just gives you crazy tension all the way through your muscle. It feels really good. And then just switch to the other one. Just make sure you kind of brace yourself if you're gonna be leaning this far. You just don't wanna strain your lower back. On this, I really feel like it helps me kind of focus on the split on my bicep. This variation, I feel it on the top so much. I mean, I of course feel it overall, but I really feel a good emphasis on the top. And a lot of traditional barbell exercises, you pretty much get the maximum resistance at the mid-level. So this is a great way to just kind of even out your biceps. And if you're trying to focus on a certain area there, definitely helps. If you're new to these exercises, just be patient with yourself. You might notice that your lats or your rear delts try to take over. And just think, when you're doing normal curls, your front shoulders will take over a little bit. So if you start to not feel it so much, just try to focus, lighten the weight. You're gonna definitely start to notice a difference in these curls. One of the biggest differences of doing these types of drag curls is with the last two, you're doing cables. And cables are great because they're giving you constant tension. Wherever you are in your range of motion, it doesn't matter. And that's one huge plus that it can do over dumbbells in that aspect, where you're gonna feel that constant tension the whole time. So you're gonna be able to feel it better and squeeze better and gain better. Those 3 exercises were my workout for today, and I've never done an all drag workout before. Drag? What? Anyway, this gives you a pump that's just different. It just hits different, as the youngsters say. Like, you'll feel the pump, but you just gotta try it. It feels different than traditional curls, but it's in a good way. So don't forget to try this out. Tell me what you think, tell me what your thoughts are and what your experience has been. I'd love to hear. Don't forget to like and share with everyone that you know. If you like this type of content, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Got a lot more fun training stuff coming in the future, so don't forget to tune in next time for more Sale Bill.